When does the mastered version on iTunes come out?
Inappropriate Earl, SoundCloud and iTunes. We're live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Thank you for all the love and support for the John Hastings episode. And tonight we have a special reappearance by a couple OGs on the Inappropriate Earl podcast. I don't rarely have two guests on at the same time because it never quite works out, but these guys know how to work a microphone. Give it up for Sandy Danto and his sidekick. I think he's been on Inappropriate Earl now 3 or 4 times. Carlos Rera.
Hello. It's like the worst intro I've ever heard.
Dude, let's be honest. Not many podcasts are asking you to be a guest, so just be happy to be on.
No, I wanted to come on here.
Yeah,
and talk to you and talk about our friendship.
Yeah, now, by the way, speaking of friendship, Celsius energy drink. If you want 300 milligrams of caffeine coursing through your veins, try Heat. Not the Burt Reynolds movie, not the Robert De Niro movie, but Celsius Heat. And if that's a little too much for you, just go with the regular Celsius. Celsius is not a sponsor at the moment.
Then why are you doing this?
Because I want them to watch, and so Daddy can start making some some cheddar.
Dude, I'm showing them what they could have had.
So, Sandy and Carlos are 2 longtime
Don't you need coasters?
comedy foot soldiers.
Wait, hold on. Do you we're live on stream?
We're on Facebook Live.
I don't love that.
Do you flip back and forth?
What I do is I do this for about 20 minutes, and then I say if you want to listen to the rest,
Oh, cool.
go on Apple Podcasts.
It's a real teaser.
Yeah, I mean iTunes. I guess it's called Apple Podcasts now. And I Instagram Live every now and then.
Okay, cool. Love your Instagram lives.
I keep it real.
Lois. Yeah.
I've been told I keep it too real for some, but I'm a warrior. I'm a foot soldier. I'm Rambo at the end of the first Rambo in the hardware store. It's over, Johnny. Nothing is over. And you guys, Carlos kind of disappeared for a while. Yeah. Sandy's a paid regular at the Comedy Store. Frequently opens up for Pauly Shore, among who else do you open up for?
Adam Ray, Bobby Lee, Judy Tenuta, Judy Chinchada,
Bobby Miyamoto, legendary comic. He opens up for someone big. I forget who. Dude, you got to stay in camera frame, you idiot.
I opened for Mickey a couple times.
Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees?
No, Mickey from the Ding Dong Show.
It's to jack off to Mickey Dolenz's daughter.
Did you know her personally?
No, I just saw that movie she was in with Tony Danza called She's Out of Control. They were trying to make it like the new Can't Buy Me Love.
Earl, is anyone watching this?
Yeah, we got a couple, I think 17 people watching right now.
Dude, live stream like no one's watching.
Well, dude, it's so hard.
That is good advice.
Yeah.
It's so hard to figure out what, we're all chasing Rogan's tail. Facebook Live I think helps a little bit. Instagram Live possibly.
Periscope, yes.
Yes, Gregory, it was Amy Dolenz, was Mickey Dolenz's daughter. Big joke.
She nude in it?
No, but she had a couple bikini shots. I mean, they were clearly trying to make her like the girl from Can't Buy Me Love.
Did you see the new Predator?
The Harvey Weinstein? Yeah, I saw him.
That's a good joke.
So I did try it last night at the Comedy Store. And then I always see Brian Singer at Coffee Bean.
Really?
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
So I think he lives up Sunset Plaza.
Yeah, he's always at the Coffee Bean on Santa Monica Boulevard.
Dude, I'm surprised he's not at
Jamboree. Yeah, I mean, that's out of control. I mean,
yeah. That's been a known thing ever since I moved here.
Well, yeah, and then Bohemian Rhapsody's a big hit, but they can't really promote it right now because his name's back in the news.
Did you see it?
I only wanted to see it if they went warts and all. Like, he died of AIDS.
Right.
Like,
warts and all.
I didn't hate the movie. There were some very cool things to watch. It was entertaining. But the fact that it is nominated for awards makes me hate it. Because it's not that good of a movie. There's a lot of things in it that are laughable, that are trying to be serious. Like, his performance is good, but he like is too cartoony with the overbite, and he's like, I have 4 extra incisors, and he's slurping the whole movie. And I have this one really big problem. Sorry to go off on a tangent here, but
it's okay.
When you're playing a historical figure like Freddie Mercury, wear the fucking colored contacts. It takes me out of the movie. If you're playing someone and you have different colored eyes, you went to all this great length to be like that person, and you're not willing to wear the colored fucking contacts? Fuck you.
Well, like, I had a guest on here, the great Jeffrey Mark, old school gay Hollywood, and he told me a story about how he fucked Freddie Mercury in a bathroom at like a sex club in New York. Nice. I want that.
Yeah, I wanted to see all his dangerous liaisons.
What did it win again at the Golden Globes? Like Best Picture or something?
Rami Malek won. I don't know if it won.
He's great in that. What's the TV show? iRobot? Or
Mr. Robot.
Mr. Robot. iRobot.
Whatever.
He's great in that show, Roomba. Yeah. He actually just comes over and sucks
Mr.
everything
Roomba.
off the...
Zumba? What the hell's that have to do with anything?
Roomba, you glam.
But I don't like movies that... and the rest of the band was important. Like, they just kind of glossed over those 3 guys. Brian May, they made him look like the first Bill Cosby victim.
He does look like the...
Well, I mean...
the one who won in court, Andrea or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I thought, oh, fuck, Bill Cosby fucked Brian May? That's a movie.
And the kid from Jurassic Park is in it? He's like the bassist or something?
Yeah, I mean, it was like that Def Leppard movie where it's like,
Wait, there's a Def Leppard?
There was a Def Leppard, it was like Lifetime or something. Once we cut Facebook.
Produced by Earl.
Produced by Bryan Singer. It's like, wait a minute, they're not 12 years old. What the hell does this have to do with anything? So that's
Bryan Singer's working on the Menudo movie.
He's working on Michael Jackson, but only the first 10 years of his life. It's amazing they let him direct Bohemian Rhapsody. Like,
it is.
Don't you guys?
Well, he also got in a lot of trouble because he didn't show up to set, or he showed up late. He wouldn't do his job.
And the sequel to Bohemian Rhapsody is going to be horrible. It's going to be about 10 minutes. I mean, if we're really going to go for it.
And it's actually just going to be a hardcore gay porn.
Well, that was the last couple of years of his life. I mean, but it's so that movie has been so successful.
This is a good topic.
We just get right into the AIDS talk. I mean, by the way, I saw there's a great documentary on Netflix about the HIV epidemic in porn. Remember a couple of years ago, there was that one guy who fucked
Dude, that affected my life.
Yeah. And by the way, Jeffrey Mark just messaging me right now. He was the guy who fucked Freddie Mercury.
Oh, nice.
Hello, Jeffrey. But the scary thing, by the way, if you're going to watch a documentary on HIV and porn, just watch the first 30 minutes because the last hour is a real bummer. But they actually show you...
Same with porn. Same with actual porn.
But they show you the scenes in which each girl got it. It's really scary.
That's dark.
They show this one girl, I guess she had anal with the guy, and, there's no condom.
They fell in anal.
Yeah, I mean, I think the name of the movie was...
Why did you watch it? What?
Because it was just Netflix has great documentaries, and I thought, I love anything porn related because I don't watch porn, even though it looks like I produce it. Great, now
you don't watch porn?
Now I'm doing bits on my own podcast.
Hold on, wait. Did you watch the Rocco Siffredi one?
He was too aggressive.
He's so aggressive.
I don't like aggressive porn.
There's a scene where he talks about his mom died and he met up with one of her friends to console her, and he got so worked up that he just pulled his cock out and made her suck his dick, and it's so out there and bizarre and uncomfortable, but it's so compelling at the same time. I couldn't stop watching that fucking movie.
What's such a sad industry, and now all these broads they're webcam girls. I won't say who was telling me this at the Comedy Store last night, but they're all cam girls. So like, you can't really make a living at porn anymore. Like if you're like, because it's all free. I mean, who wants to pay some broad $5,000 when you can just go on myfreecams.com, password Martin72, and watch it for free now. So I don't know who pays.
I'm not into cams. I need the story.
Really? You watch the story for real?
Yeah. I don't need the story. I need the context in which it's happening.
I don't watch porn just because, I have a 75-inch high-def television, 4K.
I thought you were going to say you have something else that's 75.
I mean, no, it's about 8, maybe 9 in the right now.
Pass your headshot on to my age.
I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I got into problems at the store about a month and a half ago.
Really?
What
happened?
It's crazy. For 2 weeks of my life, I've never been so scared. I thought my whole career was done. One night at the store, Ryan O'Neal was killing. Mm-hmm. He was killing. I'm like, fuck, I'm going to have to do something like crazy to, keep up the momentum. So I did the Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, and it always kills. It never has not, gotten the room. And then I thought, well, you guys, I can't show you my dick on stage. There's, liquor licenses and all that stuff. So I'm going to pull out my dick pic and just pass it around the audience.
Oh my God.
So the audience, literally every audience member looked at my dick pic and all that stuff. And then, I guess someone complained and said they were going to sue me and the club. And
Who voluntarily looks at it and then complains?
Well, I don't know.
It's a great picture.
They didn't
It's the best dick pic in the business. But, I still to this day don't really know who it was. So
he was a comic? No.
I don't know. I have no idea. They emailed the store, and the store was on my side. Luckily, everyone was. But for 2 weeks, I thought
Louis was.
Well, Adam gave me a main room spot, and I thought, this is it. This is my last spot ever here.
Sorry.
That's all. It all. I guess But so I don't show my dick pic anymore. Deleted all. Photos, and it's crazy how one tweet could take you down.
When you hear this, Carlos, when you hear this kind of stuff about the store and how it's different now, you used to hang out there with us every night, 7, 8, 9 years ago. What? And then you moved on. You started doing other things. What are
Earl's promoting Celsius right now to the live cam for the listeners.
Well, yeah, I got to make some money.
But they're not paying you.
This is 200 and I think this is the 266th episode. I've never gotten $1. Even when I was high up on the charts, I wasn't making any money. So I'm trying to be proactive so I can get bigger guests and
That's positive, yeah.
You've had some good guests.
I have weird guests,
But isn't that good for your fan base?
Well, it is.
It's unique.
I had the bad guy from Superman 2, not Terrence Stamp, but the
Tony
guy. Tony Katane, Stephen Piercy from Rat.
Eric Gruber.
Eric back in the New York Gruber. I've had Ben Bailey from Cash Cab. Jeff Richards, and but now you got to go after people with social media followings.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works.
What about from your Bravo shows? All those shows you like.
I've had Kristen Dode from Vanderpump Rules a few times. I had Instagram model, friends with Jeff Ross.
Yeah.
But she has 1 million followers
Big
on
name.
Instagram.
On Noelle or whatever.
Yeah, I was like, cool. Trying to figure it out. 265 episodes in, I still don't know what I'm doing.
Do you approach people at the store? There's a lot of famous people coming by there now these days. You ever be like, hey, you want to do my podcast?
It depends on how well I know them. I saw who, Jimmy Carr was. I was at a dinner party with him a couple weeks ago, but it just wasn't the right time to ask him. And the same thing with David Spade. He'd be good.
I think people like you. Even people not as famous as David Spade, but still with followings would do it.
But they have to see
say, I don't know, Rob Schneider.
He'd be a great guest. D'Elia would be a great guest.
These are people that would do it if you just asked them.
Yeah, I mean, all the people from I'm Dying Up Here, they all have, big followings.
Yeah.
Sad that show is off.
Well, it's funny, we talk about social media. I think that's part of the reason, at least from my perspective, that, like on Twitter, I think they only had like 2,500 followers. Instagram, it was about the same. And it just never, you look at
Stupid.
Benji and Esther's show. Mm-hmm. Like, that had a good social media game. And
That's done too. I'm sad. That's done.
It's crazy. You don't know what hits and what misses. I honestly thought that I'm Dying Up Here would be the next Ray Donovan Shameless type show. And, you look at the people who were on it. Melissa Leo's won an Oscar.
How many episodes were you on that show for?
I think in 2 seasons. I was probably in about 10.
Wow, really?
That's a good run.
But like 3, I didn't have any lines. Like one episode, they had me literally. I think someone had fucked Goldie's daughter, so a bunch of us are at the bar, and I'm just eating cake. But I got paid $900 just to eat that cake. So. But to show you the Me Too movement, how it affected even something like that, the main writer goes, "Hey, we have this scene where Ari Grainer, Cassie, and
she was great in The Sopranos.
She's awesome. Like, she's amazing. Cassie and I'm Dying Up Here. She's so desperate and down.
Her name's Cassie.
Yeah, down and out on her luck, and I'm Dying Up Here. That I don't know if we were gonna have sex, but we hook up in some capacity.
You and Cassie hook up on Showtime, on the show.
We were going to, and the writer
What's
came
your
to me.
character's name?
Al Sims.
Al Sims.
But the writer came up to me the next day and said the network said we can't. They don't want her being passed around like that.
They're like, she's supposed to call me.
Right. So Showtime.
Speaking of Cassie.
Cassie's the girl I saw Magic Mike with back in the day.
Well, I wasn't going to go there.
It was me, Cassie in the back, and then Bruce Valanche was in the very front of the theater. So at the end of Magic Mike, it's 3 people in like a 400-person seat theater. And we all leave at the same time. And Bruce Valanche just locked eyes with me. And I'm like, "Hey, Bruce, what you think of the movie?" He's like, "Get rid of those double D's and I'll show you mine." I'm like, "What the fuck?" Bruce Valanche! So, yeah, I mean, who knows? Like, but then you look at a show like Roast Battle is a
What's
hit.
going on with you and roasting? Are you gonna roast battle Jeff Ross?
I made the offer, but he won't do it.
What do you mean he won't do it? Has he?
Well,
said
you'd have to
won't?
ask him. I don't know. I made the offer because I think it would be good for the show.
Why don't you ever go to his house and just ask him in the hills?
No, I'm good on that.
But
Thank
why?
you. Why?
You don't
would-
have to say specifically. If you
I like Jeff. People think I don't like him.
But like, who's there?
Bunch of open micers trying to palm.
And you feel like that energy isn't good.
Yeah,
for
I'm
you
not.
around.
I'm not.
But like, if you were there, I don't think people would view you in the same group as that. They wouldn't.
Oh, they wouldn't. But I would. Like, I don't want to hang
Your
out
own
with
personal.
a bunch of open micers who are trying to palm Jeff to get on season 4 or whatever they're doing.
What do you say about like Benji there or something? Benji works. with
Benji's
Jeff.
not an open micer.
Yeah, I know, and neither are you. So.
But
there you
it's
go.
just I'm willing to do some things, some
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
But that's another almost podcast, that show. But I thought it would have been fun for me and Jeff to roast.
And do you think he heard the offer?
Oh yeah,
He's been notified of it.
He's been notified of it. I had 3 Comedy Central execs call me and say it's not happening. But
Dude, call me on my landline.
yeah, and at the end when I did the verbal, I guess it's called the Roast Battle podcast now on Comedy Central's network. I gave out my home cell phone number, and I had a Comedy Central exec. It was actually pretty funny. He's like, "Yeah, I'm the head of Comedy Central. We had a nice talk, but it's like that's a hit 4 seasons running.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think
Why
that.
haven't you been more involved in it? Is my question.
I'm a voice of the voiceless, Herrera. I
Do you think
speak
it's-
for the shut up.
But is it your doing?
Oh yeah, I mean.
Wait, did you stop coming around the Comedy Store
Right before the
Right before.
roast battle. Although I wrote for one or a couple. I remember Jeremy Cravens against Julia Reese.
Yeah, that wasn't a good battle.
Yeah, no. That's like one I went to, and I went to you versus Whitney.
Yeah, that was that. You know, I've only lost twice, both times to women. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great show, but it's just like
Time's up.
you know, I don't have manager or representation, so like I got the shaft and
How do you know?
Montreal.
Your life is...
You're on like several shows.
It doesn't matter. His life is funny already. He has a good life. You do
Well, a
podcasts,
year and a
you
half
do
ago-
comedy. What else do you want to do?
I want management, so I don't get. I had a meeting with a pretty big manager about 2 weeks ago, and you know, he basically said, in the perfect scenario, what do you want from a manager? And I said, well, like, you know, I explained to him my experience on Roast Battle, and he was like, he listened, and he's like, well, let me tell you what would have happened if I would have been representing you.
Yeah.
One, you would have gotten a piece of the show because you were in the room from day one.
Mm-hmm.
Two, you would have been on every season because it's been on 3 seasons. And I would have had you on the UK show with Jimmy Carr. So 4 seasons if you count that. And you would have picked who you want to battle. And then I would have gotten you on more other Comedy Central shows. I would have made you not the face of Comedy Central, but like, you know, you would have been on like Drunk History, you know, since you're the lead. But since you're the lead on an Adult Swim cartoon, I would have gotten you on their cartoons and animated shows.
So why didn't anything come of this?
Well, I mean, it's like you're telling me this, like, you know, a year late. Like, you know, now, I mean, I still have the cartoon, but what are you checking your phone for?
The Timberwolves beat the Lakers.
So, but
I
that's
don't know
just...
what to say. That's what happened. I was just seeing the time.
Well, it's time to put the phone away.
I'm sorry, I just
You're
wanted to
doing a
check.
fucking podcast. Would
All
you
right,
do that? Would you do that if this was Rogan's podcast? Hey, Joe, hold on. Let me... the
didn't
Timberwolves beat
say
the
hold
Lakers.
on.
I mean,
Let's
I'm
get
sorry.
down to. Let's
I
get
mean,
down
we're
to
on-
business.
No, I don't want to do it
Hold
on
on.
Facebook Live.
well,
The
you're
fucking
on it.
Russians.
This is TV, not radio. What's with a gun, Hans? It's Hart Bachner and Die Hard. I'm trying to get him on my podcast. Like, he doesn't have social media.
We should do another movie podcast, you and I.
But I want Hart Bachner.
No, I'm saying, but we should do another movie one. We did the Heat episode.
Yeah, we did the Heat, but like...
One of the best episodes ever.
Sandra Bullock and Melissa McCarthy. Adam
Me and
Ray.
Sandy saw that at the ArcLight Dome
Well, I had the
Or Adam
guy
Ray.
with Simbari.
who wrote... Simbari, that's who I got kicked out of my seat for in Roast Battle Season 2.
Steven Simbari?
They brought me in for a particular battle and for a particular joke. We don't have to get into it.
They have a
And
dirty word in it.
as soon as that battle was over, the producer is like, yeah, he's got to sit there. I'm like, who's this guy? Oh, this is Stephanie Simbari's brother. Oh, cool. This is really great to be treated like this.
I was accurate. I was just making a joke.
So, I mean, I love Simbari, but it's like, you know, when you work on a show and are responsible for getting to television and you're kicked off for
Yeah.
you know.
I'm sorry.
If you had that manager, it wouldn't have happened.
Right. Well, you have representation, right?
Yeah.
So you get into meetings that you probably wouldn't get into if you didn't have a manager, right?
Yeah, they
I'm asking. I'm not like...
Sometimes. It's been a while.
Well, but a lot of times it's, you know...
What about a touring manager for you? Someone to send you on the road.
Well, now I have TV credits, so that's of interest to me. Like, you know...
You and Gruber, one night only.
No one knows who Gruber is.
One night stand up.
One Night Stand Up, the pilot I did for Barry Katz. He was a great episode.
Isn't that the one where
I
David
bombed.
Taylor was in too?
Yeah, the only joke.
It's the Duke lacrosse.
I did a
joke.
Duke lacrosse joke, and the only out of 400 people in the main room, 2 people are laughing: David Taylor and Ian Bagg.
What's the joke?
Well, the premise of the show was called One Night Stand Up.
Yeah, we get it.
You
Brought to you by New Wave.
the girl never sees you; she hears your act,
Oh,
which I kind of like that premise.
she didn't pick you.
And at the time, I wanted to get in front of Barry Katz, but not go on Last Comic Standing because I just didn't. I don't think that show's for me in terms of the format. And then so I do this joke about the Duke lacrosse captain having a degree in economics, so he obviously knew 47 didn't go into 2. And dead silence in the main room, packed. I mean,
That's that is a really good joke.
I mean, it's probably the best joke I've ever written from the standpoint of being smart, and
Yeah.
funny or whatever, dry and dark, and then that's when Dave Taylor and Ian Bagg laughed in the back, and I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Have you seen David recently?
Yeah, he's doing good.
Yeah.
So but to have Barry Katz on, and it's really, if I could steer people, I always steer people to the Tommy episode of this podcast, the first one. Second
Should
one,
have him back
Those
on.
are great.
I would, but he kind of repeated himself a lot in the second one.
Yeah, he did, but I'm fascinated as to what he's doing now and how he feels now. That there's been,
That he was
because
in
you had him on
Central
right
America.
after he left the Comedy Store.
Yeah,
I
after
thought
he
was in Central America or something.
he's bounced around, but he still, I think, keeps.
Benji sent me a flyer of him running a show with GT.
Yeah, he does like an open mic now where
GT, really?
Yeah.
you can he can critique your set for $5.
Oh, that's nice.
So there you go. I mean, how the mighty have fallen. I mean, can you imagine Adam? Let's say Adam left the Comedy Store, and 2 years from now he's giving critiques for $5 at the Unurban.
Yeah, that's depressing
So
and unlikely.
but I think Tommy still
Hey,
thinks.
man, I'll give you a critique for $5.
But I think Tommy still thinks in his
Well,
mind.
I'll give you a critique
Well,
for $5.
well, they were one of the most popular episodes, so I do owe him that. And
You
it
should
is.
have him back on.
I would. I'd never had a problem with them. I mean, I think.
Aren't you glad you didn't buy him that guitar?
Yeah, I almost bought him a guitar and stuffed it full of weed to get past.
Yeah.
Because I know that's how certain other people.
No, I'm glad you didn't do it.
Well, it's just lucky that Adam saw me in Tempe, Arizona in 2011, and so that was basically my
Who were you
showcase.
there with in 2011?
I was there with the great Jeff Richards of Ditto Kiddo fame, Saturday Night Live, Mad TV, and the inimitable Rob Schneider, Deuce Bigelow, and the Animal, the hot chick.
This is the weekend when they had the night where didn't you walk in on Richards and all you saw was like his shadow and he looked like Alfred Hitchcock?
No, that was in Cincinnati when Jeff had asked me to go get ice from the ice machine down at the end of the hallway. So I left. I come back, and the bathroom in this hotel had those smoky mirrors where you could see, like you could basically see what was going on in the bathroom. So when I walk in, I see Jeff Richards with my laptop. He's on the floor jacking off. So, and that probably wasn't the energy. I don't think.
Wait, what about the time you caught him in the tub?
Oh, he would clog toilets on every gig. And so one time we're at the Jacksonville Comedy Zone.
That sounds
Oh,
nice.
where the hotel's connected to the club.
Yeah, so the green room, and if you ever...
I actually love that club.
It's a great club, but like if you're a big name comic like Rob Schneider, Pauly Shore, any headliner with a name, the green room, if it's still in effect, is room 101.
It's just the hospitality room, yeah.
So you have to like...
Oh, wow.
With Schneider, it was crazy because he's like Pauly. He gets these massive fans following. He had to we had to set up like security for him to get to the stage, and Jeff had taken a dump so horrifically gigantic that right before the first show, we had to call in the maintenance guy, and Jeff is in the bathtub. It's filled with water, and he's naked, and he's got a rubber ducky over his dick, and he starts inviting the maintenance guy to go to the show that night.
That's crazy.
Wait, what was the thing where...
Road stories.
What was the thing with Richards where Schneider came in and was upset?
That was another hotel where
What city was that?
I think Jeff had gone to the gym or something, but he took a dump, and the toilet clogged, so I think I took a whiz or something, and I went to flush it, and it started overflowing, and so there's shit all over the floor, and I was the host, I was the MC, so I had to get ready, and you're going first, it's no cold opening, it's like you got to get down there, and there's no music for you, it's just get up there and start the show, and so I had to take a shower. And I literally was like in a minefield in like Iraq. I had to like jump 2 feet there, 2 feet there. I had to jump on the toilet and jump into the shower. And just as I'm jumping into the shower, Schneider walks in. And I don't do a good impression of Rob, but he's like, "What the fuck you doing?" I'm like, "Well, he clogged another toilet." And he's like, "What the fuck? This room's under my name. Like, what the fuck?" And so that's when I think after that trip, it just started being me and Rob on the road.
Me and Adam Egan the other day were at the store talking about the time Richard came up to him. And then after this, he told everybody the story. But he came up to Adam Egan one time. He goes, "Dude, I got a blowjob the other day. Blew in her mouth." And then Adam goes, "Oh, did you give her a warning first?" He goes, "Does this count as a warning?" Oh.
But I mean, I can't say I missed those days of the road, but it was.
Oh, you know what? Looking back, I don't miss them either, but they were so funny.
I mean, you do, but you don't, because back then, I was just a loser MC, nothing going on. It's probably I'd probably been doing comedy 9 years at the time, and Jeff hooked me up with the gig. So I saw the good side of comedy, where it's like sold out shows every night. I mean, in 4 years, Rob never didn't sell out a show. It was crazy. Like, you'd think 1, 2, maybe a bad weekend hit, but it was just unbelievable how he.
Do people just yell his fucking punchlines every time?
Yeah,
He's from like the Water Boy and whatever.
You can do it, and I think the circle. He has a line about the circle in one of those movies that's pretty famous.
51st Dates.
Yeah, but he just something.
I forget what
The
he
circle
says.
is now.
Is he in Sorority Boys or is that Harlan Williams?
That's Harlan Williams.
Wait, what's the one where he turns into the girl?
Hot Chick.
I love that movie.
Oh yeah, he had some hits, man, and but back then I was like 9 years in. I was like, I had no credits. I had Benchwarmers as my only credit.
Funniest scene of that movie.
I mean, a lot of people say that, to be honest with you. But
Have you been going on the road lately?
Well, now I can, but now that's when you need a manager or an agent to
You don't go on the road at all anymore?
Well, next a couple weeks I'm doing the Shane Doan roast at the House of Comedy.
The who?
He's a very famous hockey player. He played for the Winnipeg Jets and Phoenix Coyotes, so the same franchise for 21 years. He never.
Where is it?
He never asked to be traded. They were never really
In
that.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
A lot of controversy with that club. You know about it?
No, I mean I don't. Let's get into it. But I will say before you say this, Rick Bronson, the king. He owns the comic strip in Edmonton.
Mm-hmm. Great club.
Mall of America,
yeah.
and some other things coming down the pike.
But the other club owners in the Phoenix area want him out. And
Why?
they're doing everything they can to get him out.
But why?
I don't know. I just know there's a lot of controversy surrounding it.
Well, I can only imagine how. I mean, it's competitive with comics. I mean, we see the backstabbing that goes on in our world. I can only imagine. He seems to get the best lineups.
Yeah,
from what I see. Chris Frangiola, Eleanor is performing there.
He's willing to take a chance on people that don't have a ton of credits.
Yeah, if you look at the dais...
That are super funny.
Oh, yeah. But that's, smart to me. It's like, you look at his Edmonton club, Gerard Carmichael was headlining there when he wasn't anywhere near the fame level he is now. But I bet if Gerard ever goes to Edmonton... I mean, there probably isn't another comedy club up there, but he'll give Rick first, I'll do that. I'll do Mall of America for you. I'll do, that's smart.
Yeah, Gerard, right?
Watch out. Because but I wish more people would be like that. Like, yeah, you want Dice Clay and, Jeselnik and Jeff Ross, but what guys like you could headline? You could headline easily.
I'm starting to. I'm headlining the Punchline in San Francisco on February 26th.
And if you don't mind me I'm not asking you how you got the gig, but because you don't have a ton of TV credits, do you?
I have TV credits all on TV shows that didn't last. So sure, I have TV credits, but none of it's on the air anymore.
I mean, you and I are we're probably in the same level of fame, in terms of TV shows.
Yes, you guys are the same.
So
Comparable.
yeah. So did they reach out to you? Say, hey, we saw you in this, or do you reach out to them?
No, I've done the club a couple times and they liked me, and I reached out to them and said, hey, I'm gonna be here with. Last time I did it, I was there with Bobby Lee, and I asked if I could headline the night before his nights start, and they were into it, and it went really well. So I'm doing that again this time with Adam, Ray, and I'm gonna just keep trying to do it every time I go out on the road at a club that I've already been to.
Yeah, I mean, because I think, like, Eleanor, I think, is at the Edmonton Club in August, and I'm going to see if I can open for her. But then that Wednesday night, I'm going to ask Rick, hey, can I headline your Wednesday night show? Which is probably, like, not an open mic, but, like, the local comics and stuff. So
just headline that.
Yeah, and then, you open the rest of the week.
All the open micers will worship you.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
as if you won a roast battle, because you did.
Well, but Roast Battle is probably the show I get asked about the most still.
It's huge. Carlos, do you miss stand-up or being around it or doing it at all?
Not really. It's a bummer you're not on Roast Battle more.
Well, it's a great show, but it's just, I don't know if you've ever dealt with politics on a show.
I've dealt with politics.
Are we still live?
Yeah. I'm going to cut it in a few minutes.
How long have we done?
What are you?
I'm just asking. I'm
the producer? Don't worry about it. What do you care? You're not going to be editing this.
Do you edit these?
Hey Jamie, look up hack suits.
But I mean, like, what politics have you, like, you've been on shows, like, you did a pilot with Esther once.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure there was
did too.
Esther Pavitsky from Freeform's Alone. Is it Alone
Together?
Alone Together,
Yeah.
But that's a show that should have gotten a longer run.
The politics I deal with most nowadays, yes, I agree. Alone Together was really funny, and it should have gotten a longer run. Every show that comes out with people we know, you're supportive because you want people to be supportive of what you're doing. But then you watch and if it's good, you're really happy because you're like, oh, I can get behind this and feel good about it. And Alone Together was one of those shows. And there are a handful of them out there too. Corporate, I think, is really funny.
I love Jake Wise.
It's cool
He's
to
great.
see when
Your
people you
episode
like
was good.
succeed and have good shows. I think the TV show Roast Battle is great. I don't love the live show in the Belly Room. I think it's a toxic environment of open micers.
That's part of why I left. It's
Yeah.
like, because they...
But it was so much better when you were playing a character on it.
Well, but I mean...
The original...
The house
Fermentation
racist,
of it,
heckler, whatever you want to call it. But that's one of the problems I had where I was told it wasn't... there wasn't time to do it on the TV show. But then on season 3, they did it with my replacement. Like so there is time to do it.
Cena?
And Cena's great. The Saudi Prince.
Yeah.
He's.
But I also feel like I was going to say the politics that I deal with most is diversity casting. And I've come close on a lot of things, and they've just had to give it to somebody who's more diverse than me. And it seems like that was the case with the House Racist. Plus, it's easier to swallow racist comments if it's coming from someone who's a minority.
See, I don't think it is.
A person of color.
Like, to me, it's even more racist to have an Arab guy doing, like, anti-Arab shtick, like, in this environment, given, like, after 9/11, let's be honest, Arab or Muslim looking comics or people in general are not, like, exactly looked at favorably here. Like, I think it's... Having a white person say it's just like, oh, this is a crazy white guy.
Well, it's what you were doing was satire. You're not actually racist. You're making fun of someone who is racist saying those things. You just happen to be saying really funny racist stuff. But I also just don't think people understand the line between satire. Like, people see satire and they don't realize that's what it is. They just get mad on a surface level about any word that might be considered offensive, and they don't see it as you making fun of someone who would be saying that in earnest.
I mean, ultimately, at least when I was doing it, I was making fun of white people, like for how stupid racists look. And it's like, do you really think a show with Brian Moses, a black host, is going to have an actual racist sidekick? I mean, Jim Carrey got it, and it made me... I could have quit comedy after this. I think about 3 years in, he came up to watch. And he was, obviously very funny. And he came up to me in the parking lot of the store after, and he just whispered to me, "Hey Archie, where's Edith?" Like he got it. Like
that's
the
awesome.
whole time I've been telling people it's Archie Bunker. Like, and they're like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "All right, this isn't gonna work." But he got it. Like, you know. So
Jim Carrey
When
saw
was
me.
that?
that was like 3 years into roast battle. He was
Oh.
not judging, but he was just there. Jeff, I think, had brought him up, and so that made me feel like, okay, I'm doing it right.
Jim Carrey saw me at Mitzi Shore's memorial, and he's like, "You are Belushi. You are him. You're his essence." And that was like the coolest moment of my life.
Yeah, it's like to get someone like Jim Carrey tell you. But people are stupid. Like I had someone yesterday on Instagram. I posted a clip of the Jellies, and they accused me of using it as a platform for my racism.
Wow.
And it's like, do you know that the Jellies? It's literally an all-black cast, but me. It's written by an all-black writing staff. The two creators are black. Like, what do you like? It's
Who
parody.
accused you of that?
Yeah.
Oh, a troll, just some. But they were serious, and I felt bad because you could tell it really hurt their feel. Like they really are offended.
It
But
hurts their feelings because they don't think it through.
Do people in comedy ever call you racist or? Like, do people in comedy ever not get your characters in the belly room or?
well, I
just-
mean, late night at the stores, Sandy. Well, you know too that you have to like. They've heard every fucking joke. They've seen every big name comic from Rogan, D'Elia, Jeselnik, Joey Diaz, Theo Von. You just can't hit them with so. How about those Patriots? You got to hit them with deep, like when you bring up.
Have any comics ever gotten mad at you or like offended?
No, I mean I had one guy come up to me after a roast battle and go, "What's with the racist bullshit, man?" I'm like, "Well, it's a character like Archie Bunker," and he looks at me and goes, "Who the fuck is Archie Bunker?" And thankfully Moses was standing right next to me. I'm like, "Hey Moses, this guy wants to talk to you." And I ran out of there like
Was
Carl
it a black
Lee.
guy or white?
Black guy, big black dude. I think it was
yeah.
one of Red Grant's buddies. This is when they had the black show downstairs in the in the main room. Red Grant's tripping on Tuesdays, and Red's awesome. He'd been up there a couple times, and Russell Simmons. I went pretty deep one night up there with the racial zingers, and
there was a night you went too deep.
Russell Simmons was there. I said, I better apologize to him. It's Russell Simmons. And I'm like, "Hey, Mr. Simmons, it's just a character. I hope you weren't offended." He pulls me in and goes, "You were my favorite part, kid."
He pulled you in. He's like, "It's okay, I rape."
Yeah. Well, I mean, he did play footsies with me once in hot yoga, but I take hot yoga to cleanse my palate.
Yeah, but it just seems like the stuff that was going on at the store when Carlos was hanging out there a few years ago, that stuff just doesn't go on there anymore.
What stuff doesn't?
Like the shenanigans late at night and any sort of racy joke involving sex or race. Just
Well, I mean, it just, one tweet. I mean, someone could see your act and say, this guy had all the audience members on stage, which is a bit you do.
yeah. when
Is
there's
it
nobody there.
every show you do that, or
No. I only do that when it's late at night, and they're sort of, they're not in the moment anymore. They're thinking about what they're going to eat after this, or paying the babysitter, or going home, or how they're going to get home, or paying the check. And I do it to unify them, get them on the same page, engage with them, and connect. And they go back to their seat, resets the room, and they're into it for the next 2-3 comics after me.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't think the comics after you and after me realize anything I'm doing on there is literally, I want to get laughs and do well. I'm sure Adam checks in with people, hey, how'd Sandy Earl do late night? But I'm also trying to hold the audience for the people coming on next. So that's why I would do like
that?
Buffalo Bill and stuff like that. And the hell? They got Ghost in here. So I wish the comics, because there are some comics at the store who phone it in and start talking shit, and then the audience just leaves, and you're next. So I don't think all comics share our.
Right, there's no messing around there anymore.
Even Rogan said it. He doesn't even like doing new material there. And that's him.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I mean, I do a lot of the same set. Probably at least 10 minutes of my set are the same jokes, because it's like,
If I'm going late at night, I do the thing where I bring people on stage so that I can do new material. Because then, when they go back and sit down, they're connected with me, and it's the best opportunity for me to try new jokes because I've already won them over.
But like some audience member could sit there and say they didn't like you, they didn't think you were funny for whatever reason. They could literally say he grabbed my ass when I went up there on stage. He was looking at my tits. I felt uncomfortable. One tweet, and you don't get spots anymore. Like it's a new era. Like,
I had a thing where I brought people on stage, and these drunk Canadian guys stole the side mic and part of the mic stand, and I thought, oh, I'm done.
yeah.
But then nobody cared, so it was awesome.
I mean, the crowds have never been better at the store, but now it's like I think comics walk on edge.
Oh yeah.
You know, unless you're super, even if you're super famous. Like, look at Louis C.K. He's all the trouble he's going through with the one joke about the school shooting, and
it's ridiculous. It's crazy. People just need to realize, like, go away. You don't like it, go away.
Well, I think ultimately, if the joke is funny,
Come back after he's gone.
You know, if the joke is funny, I think you get a free pass. I mean, I thought the joke, Louis C.K.'s joke, was, I mean, it's a pretty hardcore subject, but it is a funny visual of like some skinny, scared kid just shoving the fat kid in the way.
Yeah.
To me, that's funny, but like, it's a pretty hard sell right now, that type of joke. But, you know,
it wasn't meant for all of us to listen to either.
He just doesn't seem to have like the self-awareness to know that right now, that's not what people are going to be receptive to from him. If Dave Chappelle was doing that, okay, yeah, people would be into it.
Earl, we need to cut the Facebook feed.
Why? What are you, my producer? I'll cut it when I want to.
I thought you were going to do 20 minutes only.
I am, but
Are
you
people
interrupting. Yeah, there's a lot of people watching.
But then you're just going to give this episode away for free.
I cut it when I feel you're boring, which is getting real close.
I'm not
checking your phone and stuff. How dare you?
I'm not going to be honest.
All right, so we're going to cut the Facebook feed because Carlos is to this episode what Lorenzo Lamas is to acting. Where can people follow you? Where can people follow you online?
Look that up.
Just what's your Twitter?
At CJ Herrera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spell it for my fan base. CJ.
Your white fan base at CJHERRERA.
And Sandy Danto.
At Sandy Danto, SANDYDANTO.
We're going to talk for a bit more on Apple Podcasts.
Check out my Instagram, my Instagram at Sandy Danto, but my podcast, Motherfuckers, a parenting podcast, and my show at the Improv once a month. The next one's February 6th, 10 p.m. Watch me chill in the Improv Lab.
Yeah, I went to one. It was very funny. Jonathan Kite, I think.
No, you came to the 88 show. That's Avery's show.
Oh, my bad. Avery Pearson on keyboards.
Yeah.
You got your fingers in all the cookie jars.
Trying to snatch those cookies.
Inappropriate Earl, SoundCloud, and iTunes. Leave a review if you haven't done so already. Listen to the rest on